Do you want people to come out onto the streets? Are you calling for demonstrations? You've seen what's happened earlier this week.
I've said that because of homelessness, joblessness, and hopelessness in the country, people are already in the streets. So I can't call them to come where they are already. They are resident in the streets automatically. They are there because of poverty, disenfranchisement, and of course the disappointment that they have had a raw deal of missed opportunities and neglected advantages on account of what is happening in this country. So what I simply have to do is to activate those people and show them direction in a peaceful manner to say we have a right to protect our vote, defend our vote, and of course make sure that our vote counts in terms of where we want this country to go, on opportunities, on transformation, and of course, most importantly, on the issue of prosperity. Zimbabweans need a fighting platform, a fighting advantage, a fighting chance. And for them to be able to get that, they need a leadership that governs and governs differently.
Hello, welcome to Rumbie Uncensored, our podcast. I just want to say you're welcome and thank you very much for visiting this channel. If it's your first time, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you ring the bell. But if you're my regulars, my buddies, my siblings, I just want to say to you shout out and thank you so much for sticking around. It means a lot. Your company is great and I'm enjoying it. All I want to do is for you guys to take a look at what we're about to show you now. Take a listen. All right, breaking news. So ED Emmerson Mnangagwa speaks on succession. So the news today reported that President Emmerson Mnangagwa has indicated that he's now ready to pass on the leadership baton. But before that, he will work towards building a bridge between government and the business community so that his legacy lives on long after he's gone. Speaking during a congratulatory dinner organized for him by the Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers on Wednesday evening, Mnangagwa, whose re-election in the August 23rd and 24th elections is being challenged by opposition Citizen Coalition for Change leadership Nelson Chamisa, told captains of the industry that he wants to leave a lasting legacy in his second and final term. Interesting, very interesting. I'm not surprised because, we can also see that age-wise, he's getting younger by day. So definitely there is a need for succession. Now, the question I think most people have is who is going to succeed him? That's what we're seeing. But apart from the succession, a lot is going on right now as we speak. And one of the things that happened actually today is people woke up to a surprise that Mr. Mnangagwa had actually changed some of the laws, and Newsworks reported this morning that as he pushes ahead with his power consolidation strategy, President Mnangagwa has placed 13 powerful laws within his personal control, giving him whipping powers over the Anti-Corruption Commission, Sovereign Wealth Fund, electronic snooping, and the authority to set his own presidential salary, pension. So I'm going to read the Constitution that has been amended this morning, and they says it is hereby notified that His Excellency the President, in terms of Section 104, subsection 1 of the Constitution, is read with Section 37, subsection 2 of the Interpretation Act, Chapter 1.01, has reserved to himself, point A, the administration of the acts set out in the schedule, and B, the functions conferred on the president by any act, save to the extent that those functions have been assigned to some other minister. The Minister of Functions, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Notice 2018, published a statutory instrument 212 of 2018, is repealed. Schedule X assigned to the president. So there are a number of X. Act number 1 is Anti-Corruption Commission. Then also Act number 2 is Commissions of Inquiry Act. And 3 is Emergency Powers Act. 4, Honors and Awards Act. 5, Interception of Communications Act. Then 6, Prevention of Corruption Act. 7, Presidential Pension and Retirement Benefits Act. 8, Presidential Powers, Temporary Measures. 9, Presidential Salary and Allowances Act. 10, Radiation Protection Act. And then 11, Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. You know, the Wealth Fund, the recent one that was moved from Zimbabwe Sovereign Wealth Fund to Mutapa Wealth Fund, Investment Fund. All right. And then 12, Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission Act. Then number 13 is the Zimbabwe National Security Council Act. Quite a number of things that are going on really in Zimbabwe, interesting enough. So you can see the work that Mr. Mnangagwa is doing really in terms of consolidating power and also passing the baton to the next successor. Quite interesting to watch, really, quite interesting. Now, they also said that Mnangagwa's sweeping powers are raising all sorts of there is all sorts of questions. Is it reasonable in a purported democracy for a president to single-handedly set his own salary, allowances, and pension? Where is Parliament? Is it necessary for the Sovereign Wealth Fund, recently renamed Mutapa Investment Fund, to be under his direct personal control? Where is the finance minister? I think people ask those questions, but also don't forget that the son is the deputy finance minister who's just being appointed recently, which again raised eyebrows during the past election. Quite very interesting, really, the developments that's going down in Zimbabwe. But what can we say? It is what it is. You know, when the power is in your hands, yeah, you use it, right? You use it. Now, here we are again, apart from the power thing, we are sitting with a challenge right now with the Citizen Coalition for Change. You all know, guys, that there's a man who surfaced mushroomed from hell called Songezo Shabangu. And funny enough, this man immediately, when he sent a letter to the Speaker of Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament acted without even considering the letter that was sent by Nelson Chamisa. Here is a shocker of the day. Mr. Mnangagwa has declared or proclaimed 7th November is the date of the nomination court, and the 9th of December is election day to fill vacancies created by the controversial recall of 9 opposition CCC legislators by self-appointed Party Secretary General Songezo Shabangu. And today I was actually thinking about this. I was like, this is interesting. Guys, do you remember that when during the time that Mr. Mnangagwa, grabbed the election, and immediately you saw the the entrance of Secretary General of South Africa, Fikile Mbalula, and remember how he was literally saying he's supporting the inauguration for Mr. Mnangagwa, and he also mentioned that they support each other as ANC and ZANU-PF because they're sister parties. Do recall that. Which I'm going to be coming back. I'm going to have a live that I'm going to bring most of the information details so that we can really ponder or expand those events. But apart from that, I just want you guys to take a listen to what Fikile Mbalula had to say, please. Go ahead.
Very hard. We did have guns, but at some point, we got a negotiated political settlement. And that's what we got here in South Africa. And others are criticizing it. They say it was sellout and all of that, but this country could have gone to civil war. It's not. Through a vote, we are getting out of the shackles of some of the elements of a negotiated settlement that were to compromise. But South Africa is a stable democracy today. It is a stable democracy.
Lecture focusing on the state of democracy in the Southern Bloc, but also a special focus on the recent elections in Zimbabwe. And just to quote him, he said these elections were brazenly stolen. And he joins us now. So, Prof, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Lovely. Prof, first and foremost, I mean, looking at these elections just briefly, what do you make of what has happened in Zimbabwe? The observer missions are talking about the voter intimidation and a myriad of challenges. How does Zimbabwe come out of this?
Well, we made a proposal through a petition, which is of highlighting the fact that the election is disputed, and seriously so. And secondly, that this might be the opportunity, with the help of the region, in particular SADC, South Africa, the AU, for a transitional government, or whatever you want to call it, which will be more inclusive than the GNU of 2009, and which will be charged with a reform agenda, political agenda and economic reform agenda as the basis. It must be inclusive and it must be charged with a reform agenda necessarily in order to overcome and transcend the problems that have afflicted the country for the last 2 decades. Yes.
What about countries like South Africa and other neighbors of Zimbabwe in terms of their role, especially because, I mean, during the inauguration, we only saw about 3 heads of states going there, and the South African president was there. But what can be done, especially by a country like South Africa?
Well, I think the lecture tonight was an appeal, as much a lecture on the situation in Zimbabwe as an appeal to SADC and South Africa in particular to do the obvious, right? That there is room, I believe that with a kind of consensus and unanimity around the report and a clear message from the SADC mission itself, that there is a basis to begin anew. I have no doubt that even Zimbabweans themselves, both the ruling party, ZANU-PF and CCC, understand that the country cannot continue this way indefinitely.
Right, here you have it, guys. For me, I personally think the only way out for us Zimbabweans is to consider political settlement. I love the fact that Fikile and Balula mentioned it, how they get to have to bring solution to the country when there were fights between them and the apartheid regime. But where we are right now is on PF and CCC, not CCC, with Zimbabweans in general, because I've been saying to people, I don't think that this is a battle between ZANU-PF and Citizen Coalition for Change. It's really a battle between a few elites and the entire Zimbabwean people. So the only way to resolve our issues is really to have a political settlement, which actually is so important because it will set a ground for us to understand that there are democratic processes that we need to always adhere to. So I just hope you guys will also have your own opinions on this. Please tell me what you think in the comment section below. But I agree with Miss Dr. Ibo Mandaza, who really considers political settlement. Thank you so much for sticking around. We've had fun. And I'm asking you guys to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you ring the bell. And see you guys in my next upload. I love you all. Bless you.